Hey, so I don't know if you can tell, you can see, I'm messing around with this Schwinn Prelude I bought. I got this bike for $100 at the Goodwill. I bought it because it had a bunch of random, kind of nice parts on it. Had some campy brake levers I got $60 for on eBay. It had some really pretty decent shape, pretty highly sought after pedals. The Sun Tour, like Superb Pro 2, whatever, like bear trap pedals. I got $90 for those on eBay. So, I mean, it already paid for itself. I'm messing around with it. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. I was messing around with the Bridgestone 400 as well, trying to figure out what I want to do, and just nothing was making me happy on that bike, so I switched over to this one. This one I'm planning on keeping for myself, probably, if I like it, which I probably will. I used to have one of these years ago and loved it. But I've been riding only 650B and 26 for a long time. I don't think I've had a 700C bike in 10 years, other than like a couple of fixed gears and weird stuff like that. I'm trying to figure out what I want to build it with, and I've decided I don't want to build it with anything special. The guy I bought this bike from, he had a bunch of random special parts on it. He had a Shimano 600 bottom bracket, and Shimano 600 shifters, and 8-speed 105 derailleur, and junk wheels he rattle canned white. And he's just sort of trying too hard to make this bike something it wasn't, to make it a fancy road bike. So I decided to just use junk parts I've lying around and try and build the coolest thing I can. So I'll add some pictures for overlays. But I took this cool Sagino crank that had drillium rings. I took off the outer ring because I can't push a 52. I don't know anyone who can who's not a 20-year-old pro racer. So I left the inner ring on, which was a 40. And I went down to Tomcat Bikes and I got a black, because I thought it would kind of look cool, mix and match in some parts if I ever use some black stuff. I got a black old 46 tooth ring. He actually gave me a whole mismatched dead Ritchie crank that had the rings on it. And I hacksawed the teeth off and then kind of filed it smooth and then sort of sanded it all smooth. I made myself a little bash guard. This is my favorite way of doing one-bys, because you can still use the 2-by rings and you have this sort of finished look. Sometimes you can just get rid of the outer and inner ring and just use the middle ring and get like some single-speed chainring bolts. That's fine, but single-speed chainring bolts tend to come loose. I've never been a fan of them. The doubles tend not to for some reason. They're a lot better at not coming loose and being annoying. And you can use what you got, so I can still use these cool ones that say Sagino on them. And this crank's 175, which I really like. Over the years I realized I like longer and longer cranks, and I never regret going longer. Because I'm old and slow and don't really spin, I really push. So yeah, these cranks came off of something. And I think that big giant Nishiki I got. Got some 27-inch wheels. They're kind of cool, but I don't really want on this. I don't really want on anything else. So we'll save those for the project. And these cranks and some other random parts. They're all right. I did buy a Raleigh, like a 26-inch Raleigh 1990 mountain bike, Technium Chill. But it was totally dead. The DX front hub was dead. The back wheel was replaced with the cheapo one. Did have a DX derailleur on it, I think was alright. And had the one brake lever. The other one was broken. And so I'm thinking about saving this one brake lever and using the 7-speed shifter. And getting a matching brake lever. It doesn't have the integrated shifters. So it was missing the shifter on the one that came on the bike. And people hacksaw this off and blah, blah, blah. I never liked that. I never thought it was cool. But now that I'm hacksawing parts, maybe I should have saved it. But I think I can go find just another 7-speed Dior, something or other, SLR brake lever, and just get an old beat-up one like this, and have it match and be kind of really trick. Maybe, or maybe I'll go a completely different route. I have lots of other cool brake levers, and I was thinking about trying to find a Dior 7-speed Thummy for it. I do have a really cool Sun Tour power ratchet shifter. I bought a set, and one of them's broken. So I can cobble the pieces together and make just the right one work. So I can do a cool 1x7 with that. These wheels, I bought a bike for $120, this little tiny Trek. It's like a 90 or 91 Trek. Just because I wanted a good set of wheels. And they got the hard anodizing, and it's like perfect, it has no miles on it. The Trek was so nice and so perfect, I thought about saving it and just overhauling it and selling it. But I mean, I couldn't get enough money doing that just for the cool parts on it. But it had some home mechanicking on it. I pulled the cranks off, and the tapers are totally blown out. They're on so tight. Someone changed the bottom bracket for a real cheap, crappy backwards one with a plastic cup on the wrong side. And they tightened everything on so much that they literally forced the taper on that square bottom bracket all the way on until the crank nut bottomed out on the bottom bracket. Which is a shame because these cranks they're mint condition and flawless. They would have been great cranks. They're the RX100 no one cares about, but they're perfect and they're nice and the rings are perfect. So I'll save the rings, but that and the front shifter isn't really working. And then having a real hard time getting the silicone spray lube in there to see if I can loosen up the ratchet, which it probably will. But it really doesn't want any in there, so I had to order a new can of spray lube. I couldn't just drip lube in. And these wheels look cool, and I want to use them on something else. I'm going to use them on this because they're gray. It also had, I thought they were RX100 wheels and brakes, but they weren't. They're totally uncool, no one cares about Exarge brakes in like this gray blue, which I wanted to use, but they're too short reach. So that's a little bit of a shame. So I'll probably use these ones that came on the Schwinn. There's like boring Diacomp GX, which is, I guess, something just came on Schwinn, so they're recessed nut for this frame. And they had plenty of room to reach down for 700C, so that's cool. These wheels are also the Exarge, which aren't really cool. No one cares, so there's no point in selling them. They look cool. And they're 7-speed cassettes. They're 7-speed only. So I got the 7-speed Dior derailleur and the 7-speed Dior shifter. I mean, maybe we can make it cool. This is 1x7. So we shall see. So I'm going to call this the nothing special bike. It's just going to be random parts that are kind of cool, but I'm not going to go nuts. I'm not going to put, Phil Wood hubs and Chris King headsets and all the insane things on it. Got these random pedals that I got from a guy off Craigslist in a big parts lot. They put on eBay and no one cared about, so they're going on. They're kind of cool. They're black and got little spikies. Probably stick with this SR fluted seat post. I have several nice Nitto stems, but I'm not going to use them. I think I'm going to use like a, SR 100 stem that probably came on this bike, and use some non-name brand, cruiser bars, and use a beat up old used wool basket on the front, and just not go fancy, but just build a really nice everyday kind of commuter bike for basically for free. I pulled it apart right now, so I didn't really film putting the cranks together, putting the bottom bracket in, overhauling all that stuff, because I've done a bunch of videos on that. So I'm just sort of doing a progress check. I just checked the wheel and trued and tensioned it. Had a little bit of home mechanicking with some tight spokes and some loose spokes, and evened it all out and got it perfectly round and true. I still got to overhaul the hubs, so I'll probably do that tomorrow. I just aligned the derailleur hanger, which I've done in other videos. I'll probably show setting up the shifter so we can see if the 1x works, and if we have to use some little tiny chainring bolt spacers and space this bash guard out a little bit to make sure that the chain doesn't hit it when you're in the smallest or highest gear. I got the fork off. I'm doing the headset. The headset's kind of dead. Just the crown race is a little bit Burnell, but just barely. I don't think it's dead enough to where I'm going to feel it or it's going to matter. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it back together and ride it. Because it's not really that big of a deal. And if it does suck, it's not a big deal to install a new headset. Got a single little down 2B shift adapter off of that Trek I pulled apart. I'll run that shifter into it. It's got under bottom bracket cable guides built in. Like, this is a cool old Columbus 10X frame. It's real tubes. From Schwinn, Chicago, even though I'm sure it's Japanese, but it's nice. Real dropouts. I think this will be cool, or I'll learn that I can never go back from 650B by 42s on my rando bike, and I will not ride it long and I'll sell it. But I kind of like the idea of a sporty, a more racy geometry, sporty commuter, make me feel fast and fun and cruiser bars and the 1x, and a bike I think will put a smile on my face instead of me just nitpicking how the fit's not perfect constantly and my hands and back hurt, but because I'm out of shape, not because the bike isn't designed right. So I just wanted to sort of touch base with the new Schwinn Prelude Nothing Special project. And once this is done, maybe there's the swap meet on Saturday. Maybe I'll find the parts I need. Maybe I'll find some parts that'll make me get real excited about the Bridgestone 400 project too. I kind of really want to get black single speed wheels for it and like black Tektro brakes. Or any black vintage brake, I guess. And I got some black cruiser bars. Like kind of do a black and silver with more black build on it, and a single speed build would be really cool. We'll see. I'll do the same thing. I'll probably use some whatever cranks and maybe do a Bash Guardi chainring or just the ring by itself. Single speed chainring bolts. And then after that, I just bought, cannot help myself. There's good deals and I really like finding them. It's little shots of dopamine. Even though I'm spending way more money buying bikes than I am making money selling them and working on them. It's losing my ass. Being unemployed, it's a real terrible plan to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on bikes to lose money on. But whatever. So I still have the sweet Trek 520 touring bike project. I got a nice Nitto stem I think I'm going to put in that. And I got a Velo Orange Randonneur bar for $10 on Facebook Marketplace. That's real nice. I think I'm going to put that on there because I think it'll make it a little cooler. And that'll probably be the only changes. I'll probably use all the stock, the rest of the parts. Except for it does have the half-step granny crank, which I'm not big on. I don't like that middle ring being so big. I just don't like being stuck in too big of a ring all the time. I think it's real dumb. So I might use it because it's cool, or I might just swap out that middle ring for something in the same era, in a reasonable size. Or even smaller. I might try and get all those rings as small as possible. Because it's all Dior DX, this sort of 7-speed era stuff. I have some extra ring sets from those. But I actually am starting to look really forward to doing that bike and almost didn't want to start this. And then I still got the 2 bikes in storage. Oh, plus I was about to say that I just bought a new bike, because I can't help myself. It is a Mongoose, like iComp or something, mountain bike from the early 90s with all Dior LX Mountain. So I've never seen this group. It's a Dior LX, but it says Mountain on it, 7-speed. And it's in mint condition, and the parts are in mint condition, so, you know, worst case, I paid $50 for it. The lady said she paid $250 for it, and they're moving, and she just wanted to sell it, and she was only asking $50 because it might need a tune-up or something. And it's pretty hot. It's real nice. So I was excited to grab that yesterday. I dropped it off at a friend's house who has a big basement, so I can start storing some bikes there. She doesn't know what she's getting in for. But yeah, so I think tomorrow I'll continue working on this. What do you think of these sweet gray hard anno Matrix rims? I just realized the Matrix stickers are even little reflectors. Look, this thing's cool. I think it's gonna look good. I'm probably gonna put some like 732 Panaracer Paselas on it. I got a set that came on these rims, on these wheels. Half the reason I bought that tiny Trek because these wheels look nice, and had a brand new set of Panaracer Paselas, but they're in 28s. So I'm not sure if I can stomach the idea of running a 28, or if I should save those tires for a different project. It's tough. There's room on this. I might even go 35s, you know, really get partying. Or maybe I'll put it off top to the swap meet and see what horrible parts I don't need I can buy and spend too much money on and swap out. And it'll be cool. So thanks for watching.